Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am out here in the greenhouse. It's after dark, and yeah, I thought I would do an after dark greenhouse tour on the cooler side of the greenhouse today. We've been in the warmer side quite a bit lately, and it's nice. As some of you guys know, if you follow my channel, I have been sort of on a mission to replace a lot of the old fluorescent lights with new LED lights. Well, that's coming along nicely. The LED lights are not blurple color, which means I can film in here. I did have a few LEDs in here that were that blurply color, and I couldn't do anything on video. It was really discouraging. So anyways, it's nighttime, everything's lit up, and yeah, there's a lot going on. I've done a lot of Hoya propagating this year. I had done a lot of Nepenthes propagating this year. I've done a lot of Sarracenia propagating, but they're not in this greenhouse. So that's for a different video, which I actually did yesterday. But let's get started on a few things. Berkii, looking a little bit old there. I find the humidity in here is so much. I have like on wherever there's a nectar on the Nepenthes, it gets like some soot. On older pictures anyways. And the pictures last forever, so. Ventricosa hamada. That's a nice one. This plant is actually, it's taken years, but it's turning really nice. Burbidgii. Couple pitches down there. One of my favorites here. Coming along nicely. McFarlanei. Yeah, it's just so humid in here, and there's like so much sticky saps from the pitchers. It's a little bit frustrating. Look at this beauty. Ooh, that's nice. Really, really nice. Edwardsiana, another pitcher is just starting to form way over here. Everything's these are sort of my personal treasures here. Everything's coming along nicely. This is a nice Raja here. My Ephipiata is finally this thing is one of the slowest growing plants ever, but it's finally coming along nicely. It's gotten some big leaf jumps in it. A nice red diatas back there. Maybe we can focus on it. Maybe we can't. There we go. A few hanging utricularias up here. Quilchii. A couple Disas in bloom down here. Rob Canthlii down here. Looking pretty nice. He's getting some good size to him now. It's really bright around this area here. So I've opened this up. This one here, this is the MarsHydro TS1000 now. It's a nice waterproof light. And I've just got like stuff hanging from the light basically. And it's opened up this whole area in the floor that's nice and bright now as well. Where before the floor, I never worried about lighting up my floor before. So not only does it light up there, but it lights the back shelf too. So some Heliumphoras have been moved up there. Some of the Cephalotus are up here looking really good through the jungle. There's some Cephalotus for you. So there's one tray. I have another tray of Cephalotus outside right now. And just going through some winter dormancy sort of thing. Just sort of testing. Everybody's up in the air whether they need dormancy or not. Nice bongso. This is just off a basil shoot. And another nice one there. Hamadas are in here. They're just a big cluster, but the pictures are all over. The black lines are irrigation hose going from here to there. So nice picture in there, and pictures all the way through. Some of them are like super old. They're like 6 months old. Glandulifera boschiana. This is a really sticky plant. I don't even like to touch that one. Nice Heliumphoras. Kind of took some adjusting to the new lighting up here, but I think they're doing pretty well. I have, this is cool here. See if I can undo this. Maybe you can see it through the bag. Hopefully you can see in there. There's a few. Those are Rupkentlia seedlings. Let me zoom in, see if you can look through the condensation in there. So anyways, there's a few. You can see them like right in the dead center of the screen there, starting to germinate. So those are a nice cross from my female that you just seen, and I was able to get some pollen. So I've got a few of those that have germinated. That's kind of nice. Up above us here is a nice Hoya Retusa, I think you would pronounce it. Really nice light guy. One of my favorites, actually. I really like it. Some more lighting upgrades here. Those are Sansi bulbs. Now, I've done some videos on the Sansi stuff before. It's really good stuff. And at first I had these guys up here in the greenhouse. I decided to light the greenhouses here, and I had these. And I had the clamp lamp, like literally it was hovering right here. It was touching this one and like hovering right, touching that and like hovering right here, and just getting this little group of plants. And then I got these Sansi bulbs, and they're wicked. That's a 36 watt, and it actually runs 30 watts, not 36. These guys here were running 40 watts. So I actually went down by 25% in my wattage on these guys, but had to back it up to like 30 inches away, and it now basically lights up the whole shelf. And down below, even down here, is nice and bright, like outside, and like out here. Although there's a fluorescent shop light there, it's like out here is nice and lit up. So these seedlings are getting like shadow from the Sansi light, which is nice. So then all of a sudden, for 10 watts less, I'm able to light like this 3x3 section. That's, I would back it up more, but that's as far as the cord will go. You can see it's pretty stretched. Yeah, so that's nice. I got some really cool Hoyas this year. I want to call it, I always want to say rotundifolia, but it's like rotundifolia. Either way, square leaf Hoya. A couple of those. They've come along really nice and really filled up the pot nicely. Some Hoya Bella. This is variegated and elbow marginata side by side. A few Hoya Serpens. Whole bunch of sundews, like hundreds and hundreds of sundews. I believe this, I'm going to butcher the name, Coronata, Eskimo anyways. It's doing really nicely, growing really well. I've had this plant for so many years. It's one of my favorites. Linearis is right beside it. Linearis, Polynera, Fishtail Hoya. Doing really nice, looks really nice. I can see some blooms forming underneath. So I'm pretty happy about that. Some Hoya Compacta, variegated and elbow marginata. If we don't know the difference between variegated and elbow, so the elbow marginata is albino basically along the outside, elbow marginata along the margins, and then the variegated has a less contrasting white to green, but has different shades of actual green in the actual leaves themselves. Both are beautiful in their own way. Some nice cuttings of a variegated ovata, and a few other cuttings down here of some Hoyas and stuff. Some smaller Heliumphoras. 1,000 pinguiculas and Nepenthes seedlings and stuff like that kicking around. These are nice. So the trouble is I never say these names out loud. So then I go to say them like on camera for the first time, Castiophila. Beautiful leaves on this Hoya. I'm in love with this Hoya. It's so nice. Made a few cuttings there for next year. They'll get growing hopefully. This is a beautiful Ovata splash. I love the tip growing on it. Like, look at that. Look at the roots coming off that. Humidity is key for Hoyas, for Nepenthes, for everything. I just find everything does so much better in higher humidity. And right now we're sitting at 86%. And if it drops a couple more points, the hydrofogger that's right beside us here will come on. I notice since the light above us, which I don't want to shine you in your face again, stuff like this. This is my Raja, one of my biggest, one of my oldest. The leaf is coming out quite red now compared to the previous leaves. This was quite shaded before here, which was my goal. They have a little bit of shop light coming down on them, but yeah, that's a nice new leaf here. There's a few different Rajas in here, and the Macrophylla is tucked right in here. This Macrophylla did horrible for me for a few years, and it was mainly just because I think I was keeping it too bright. So it's down here now. Like, it used to hang, but it's down there now, and it's doing so much better. Same with a lot of these plants. Like, this guy used to hang above my head. Now it's like, it's down quite low in the greenhouse. I get some morning sun from that way. It has some lights around it in the evening, but yeah, like the leaf size now is getting so nice and big, and I don't get all these orange blotches on there from I believe too much light anymore. What else do we got going on here? Alice Priana, Raja Burbidgii is looking nice. A couple Colossus clones. Also looking pretty good. Everything is just like literally turning into a jungle in here. If you look at look at this, it's crazy the way things grow in. I don't know if I'll be able to remove this because I have one hand and it's got vines, but I want to show you like the pot itself. So you're really zoomed in accidentally here, but we're going to tip that pot so you can see it. And it's like, this is just dead sphagnum moss with everything that's growing on top of it. It's not that old, but I can no longer see the moss underneath. You have ferns growing in there, a few different kinds of ferns. I don't know what else is growing in there. And yeah, this would, I assume, be like a native moss that the spores have got in the greenhouse. And covers the pot. It's nice, but down underneath that is actually like just the normal sphagnum moss mix that we use. I'll zoom you back out now. But they're all doing it. Like, look at this one, and it's just not on purpose, but everywhere I go, the peat moss doesn't look like peat moss. Oh, that's funny. I have a new camera, and if I zoom out past a certain point, it goes to a wide angle, and if I go up past this point, and if I zoom in, but it's hard, I can't quite get it to the exact spot. So when you see that little jump, it's because it went to wide angle or back. Look at these, that is some nice cephalotus right here. Spectabilis. Of course, more ferns coming out everywhere in it. But yeah, the cephalotus are doing really, really well. Really nice. I find, again, the pictures get so old that they start to get some like green algae growing on them almost. It's not a fungus or like a white mold or anything, because the pots get it too. If you look at the edge of this pot here, you see how the top of the pot has got some green on it? My pictures get that, which is really annoying. So anyways, but it is what it is. They're enjoying the cooler, like it's fall in here too, right? Nighttime lows are getting down occasionally to about 12 degrees Celsius, which is like 54 Fahrenheit. What else can I show you? All of my cool growing orchids are down on the floor. Masdevallias, Draculas are quite low, stuff like that. There's a whole other shelf down there that we can't quite get to right now. Your Tricularias are down this way. They're growing pretty good, pretty crazy. They're an ultra low light plant. I find even the shop light is too much for like the Humboldtii. These are like light burns on the leaf. Too much light makes it do that, where the leaf tips are just kind of burned. Nice leaf on this guy though. Look at the size of that. Ooh. This is a new area that I just sort of set up. It had basically no light on it whatsoever. And I got this Y-Grow light, which is pretty awesome for like 30 watts. It covers a good 30 inches by 30 inches. The plants that were down here were like the worst plants I had. They were just like under no light. And we're just like starving to death for light. One, by the looks of it, did not make it, sadly. Oh no, no, it sadly probably didn't make it. I'll leave it anyways. But yeah, some King Sundews down here. But they're all coming back really nicely, really coloring up. It's only been out for this light's only been here for like a month. But I see some nice growth starting to come out on some stuff. So, hopefully anyways. Pinguicula flowers there. And yeah, I can't really show you up, I don't think. You're kind of going to be in shadow. This is a Vichia Raja. A really old tenuous picture. Rob Cantley Burbidgei, possibly the reverse here. Here's another good example of what was never ever lit up before. So again, it's got a Sancy light. And those are 2-foot sections, so it's 30 inches away from here. And it does this whole area, a good 30 by 30 section. But this has always just been in the pitch black, like my other Hoyas. Nice picture in here too. Look at that beast. Tucked away in there. But yeah, things are doing good. Getting nice new growth on the Hoyas up here. Nice thick new growth right there as well. Some nice shiny new growth right here. I noticed there's some reddening of the leaves. That's Australis there. It's quite fuzzy. But from the extra light, I actually noticed that even this far down here, the tips of my crinklate are going red now from the light being up. These lights have been up for 2 weeks or so. But that crinklate that I just showed you is got to be 3 feet away from the light, and it's still like going red. So yeah, you can see the difference between the dark corner with no light and then the light corner here. So plants are really doing well under it. And I did, if we peek into the warm side, I did do the same up here. So this wall has always been pitch black. So now we have the same light up there. We're at 36 inches away. And yeah, things are doing well. This whole wall is illuminated. Whoa. Except for, it must be 9 o'clock because my light just went out. And so that means all the other lights in the greenhouse went out except for the MarsHydro light. So I guess that is going to be perfect timing to end this. We got one Sancy light on still and one MarsHydro light on. And Platychilla. Spotulata. Oh, it's getting bright here. Plustiana. Whole bunch of big Hoyas. But yeah, I guess that is nighttime Highland greenhouse tour. Sorry there's not more orchids in bloom to show you, but nice spike on a Cymbidium coming out over here. But that's about all I can show you for orchids, I think. Some pleurothalids here, so you get your orchid fix. My Cuthbertsonii is in the cold growing chamber, doing really well. It's got 3 blooms on it. But most of the orchids are in the other side, coming out in pretty good spike right now. There's going to be lots. There's Cathleyas out up high, and Oncidium's out, Sherry babies are out. And yeah. But anyways, that is it. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time.